Okay. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Sorry for the delay. There was some technical issue. So let's start with our today's interview. So for better and detailed discussion, I have kept a limited amount of candidates for today's session. So uh, I would like to invite Bhagyalakshmi first for our interview. If possible, please, everyone, please turn on your videos as well. All right. Okay, Bhagyalakshmi, tell us something about you.
A very good evening to one and all present in here, respected board members. This is Sebhagya Lakshmi and I am from CSE 2nd Sem GC Raipur. I hail from Raipur itself. I have finished my class 12 from Kendriya Vidyalaya. So that's it.
Okay, tell us something about your hobbies.
My hobbies include reading, mainly dancing, both contemporary and classical, and I like programming and mostly watching YouTube videos.
All right. Let me just take your genre first. Wait a second. All right. So you say that you like reading. Which book are you reading nowadays?
Currently, I have just finished Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. It's a science fiction book, and there's also a movie on that book.
All right. So what kind of books do you like to read?
Uh, I like from science fiction to main fiction and fantasy, uh, thriller, suspense, sometimes self help books.
Okay. Uh, okay. Social media. What? Which social media is your favorite?
Uh, I personally don't use social media most of the time. I try to uh, minimize my social media screen time, usually on the laptop and on my phone. But to say what my favorite social media platform would be, it's YouTube.
Okay. What kind of content do you usually watch on YouTube?
Okay, so on YouTube, I will say that I do know we have a lot of distractions and a large amount of entertainment on YouTube, but mostly I watch a few YouTubers, and there are a lot of educational channels. For example, by CS50 Harvard's, we have the EDX, IITM channel, and we have Free Code Camp, which is one of my favorite channels on YouTube. So most of the time I watch them.
All right. So if we talk about social media nowadays is like a booming economy in itself. So, what are the possibilities of social media? Is it going to have a negative impact, moreover, or will be having a positive impact for talking about an overall perspective for humanity?
Okay, so I think I should quote a lesson in between starting my points. It is that when Alfred Nobel invented dynamite, he thought that it would help in a good use. But in today's world, we are already aware of the fact that how dynamite is actually used. So I believe that social media is just another type of dynamite which a person when a person knows that they can use it in a better way to create awareness to make channels to educate people, to make social media accounts which will help people, then it will go in a correct direction. Meanwhile, if like majority of the teenagers nowadays, they can use up to 10 to 9 hours of Instagram or YouTube, which can go up to 5 to 6 hours, then it will go in a negative way. But overall, when I talk about humanity and how will social media direct humanity, then I believe that it is a great method to connect people all over. Just like pandemic, we can see the best option of how internet and social media can help. Then I believe that it is a great platform that people can connect with each other, but it is to be kept in the mind that social media should not be used in the wrong way, which can harm others.
All right. There was a web series on Netflix known as The Social Dilemma. Have you
Social
watched it?
dilemma. Yes, sir.
All right. So, since you have watched it, tell me in short what that web series particularly explains or details about.
Okay, so from my perspective, I believe that in that documentary we had two different sides in which there was a real life implementation by the teenager, the whole family, that how social media affects each and every person of the family. And in the second part, we have the different computer scientists from Google, Pinterest, Twitter, and all those social media platforms, which are telling us how social media actually works. Like they are the backhand. They are the backend people who are designing these social media applications. So we understand from Social Dilemma that they know what is happening with social media, and all the other people which are using, like the billions of people out there with Instagram, Facebook, they are not exactly aware of the fact that what social media is doing to them. So basically the Social Dilemma, that documentary talked about, we should be aware of what platform we are using and how it can destroy us, as well as it's giving us a platform to connect with each other.
Okay, so suppose you applied for a job which deals like it is somewhat like Facebook. A job from Facebook. Let's take an example of Facebook. So your job is to promote viewers to be more on Facebook, like to increase their watch time, to increase their time on Facebook. So if you believe ethically that, wait a second, that can you hear my voice clear?
Yes, sir.
Wait a second. Okay, I was saying still it is lagging. Okay, sorry for that. Uh, I was saying that suppose you are to be hired from Facebook, and your job is to increase the watch time of viewers, like the customers of Facebook. So ethically, if you believe that Facebook, you should decrease your watch time on social medias and uh, utilize that time to do something productive. So will you consider that job, or if you consider you are thinking like you are going to consider that job because you are going to get paid well. So, what are the ethic morals you will have in order to not to discriminate between yourself, but for your own thoughts, and at the same time you can also work for Facebook like to earn money. What are the measures?
Okay, so if I have to work for Facebook in order to increase the watch times of the viewers, so in my opinion, I will work just like Pinterest works. In Pinterest, you can watch photos, videos, GIFs for hours, minutes, and it will it is giving you different ideas which can be implemented in real life, of course. So similarly, if we can implement a same kind of feature in Facebook, where we can encourage the users to spend their time on Facebook watching the different articles, videos, all sorts of media. But at the same time, when they watch those medias, they can understand that those articles, they will be helping them in their real life as well. I mean, we have articles on hacks in coding or within studies. So these kind of articles, students, or we can divide the audience between the adults, the students, the teenagers. So by applying this kind of algorithm, that we can encourage the people on what kind of article they will like, and in order to help them with those articles in real life, then I believe that it will be ethically correct that when people will go to the Facebook, they will see all these articles, and maybe they will spend their time on that. I mean, it's addicting. You can just go to the social media and keep scrolling for hours, and it may or may not be possible that you will be getting the correct information. Like on Instagram, it's not validated what kind of information we are getting, if it is true or not. But if we get a algorithm that we can upload the correct information which can be helpful to people on Facebook, then it will increase the screen time as well as it will be ethically correct. This is what I believe.
All right. Uh, we have seen that in particularly talking about Indian culture from the era, particularly, women have been discriminated more. That is what a general perception is, and that is very true as well. But we have already always been a dominated society. So, do you believe that women can uh, part with men in each and every uh, part or perspective of life?
Yes, I certainly do believe that women can compete and equal with men in each and every part of life. But there are things which can be called as uh, complications, or which are obligations which women have to take care of sometimes, which men do not seem to get. Like there are maternity leaves, or the leave women need to have after children when they have after the birth for 1 to 2 years, like the child needs complete care, and in those particular areas we do not see that men will be getting their time off from work to take care of the child. So there are few times which women need. For example, there are periods, monthly periods, and after pregnancy, maternity leaves. So these are the kind of issues which need to be cleared up in modern world. But I certainly do believe that every single job and every single activity that men can do, the same if not more in some places women can do. And it is not a point of discrimination, it is a right of both. It is not even a question of gender, it is a human right that both of the genders, whether men, males, females, or even trans, they will be getting each and every opportunity equally.
Okay. So, can you suggest any single measure which Indian government should take in order to decrease, if not eradicate, but to decrease the inequality between men and women? Single measure.
Uh, I believe that moral studies should be added in education. Like we don't see sex education in Indian curriculum. We see it in Western cultures, but it is not added. But even more than that, we need the moral issues and moral stories which a child, both a man, both a boy and a girl, they need to be taught from their childhood so that they do not discriminate each other when they go to their adulthood. So this is what I believe. The government should add a subject like moral values in the education of children, so that it should not be ever be a question that there should be a discrimination and inequality between the two genders.
Okay. Mental disorders like
Yes.
This is a very serious issue we are facing, not just in India, but in all over the world. So, although with the advancement of technology, still we are facing mental disorders because since in previous like in past when we didn't have such developed technologies, we used to work day and night. Our mental and physical, we had both mental and physical pressure. But nowadays, when we are in such a ease with the advanced technology, still we are facing mental disorders. What do you believe is the major reason for that?
Uh, it would be ironic to say, but I believe one of the major reasons is social media. Because even if you are connected with people, you may need validation from others, and if you don't get that validation, you will simply get sad. And if that kind of cycle will keep repeating from parents, from teachers, from friends on social media, then it is obvious that a person can fall into depression and other mental issues like we have anxiety, panic attacks, which are a very common issues which most of the teenagers now deal with. So in my opinion, I should say that people nowadays, even if we are having a greater technology which we are completely comfortable with, but still the working times, like in India, it is not only a question in India. If we talk about the Western world, for the teenagers, they have to the parents do not pay their college fees. So it is like 1,050,000, or in majority of the times more than 1 million, like the student debt after their education. In India, we have an exact different problem. In India, your parents may pay your fees, but it is also a question of pressure from the parents that you have to get into engineering or into medical or any of the field they want. So these kind of problems weren't there back then when technology wasn't here. But nowadays, even if we are advanced in technology, the people haven't let go of their values or their thinking, which can bring people into mental illnesses. And it is also a common known fact that people don't go to therapist if they believe that they are suffering from mental issues. So I believe that is the second reason.
Okay. Thank you, Bhagyashree. It was nice talking to you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Now I'd like to invite Kamlesh.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Kamlesh, please tell us something about you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kamlesh Gupta, and I have completed my 12th from Sanik Ambikapur, and now I'm pursuing my BTech from Government Engineering College, Raipur, in Electronics and Telecommunication Department. And my hobbies include sports, and I have very interest in sports and uh, outdoor activities. Also, I like to read fiction, and that's all about me, sir.
Okay. So I believe, as far as I know you, that you want to go into defense, uh, isn't it? After
Yes,
graduation. Okay.
yes, sir.
So since I believe you are aiming for CDS, so if you are aiming for CDS, you just need to do any sort of graduation. It is not required. It is not compulsory for you to do any upper side of graduation like BU or BTech. You don't have to do that. That is not compulsory. You can easily have done a diploma degree or BA, BCom, anything like that. But still, you pursued it for engineering. What is is the reason behind this? Is that if you that BTech is a backup for you. If unfortunately if you don't get selected in CDS, then BTech is a second option for you. Is that the reason?
Yes, sir. That is exactly the reason. Because as I have discussed the same matter with my also my officers in my school, so they actually suggested me that keeping a professional degree as your backup will actually help will be helpful for you. Also, uh, they have seen my academic performance over the years, so they suggested that I would be able to cope up with the syllabus and also with the requirements of the degree. So they suggested that BTech will be a good option for me. Also, in BTech, they give you have ample of opportunities to learn about various fields, and that's why I choose this field, sir.
Okay, but don't you think that if suppose you because BTech is something like engineering is something in which you have to invest most of your energy in order to get good percentile or good results. So if you are alternatively preparing for CDS exam, you should don't you think you should have choose a easier mode of graduation for you to focus more on CDS?
Okay, sir. Easier mode of graduation is also a good alternative. But if we look at the BTech, after BTech, you have got CDS, you have got INET, you have got FCAT, and other than the entries which, as you said, that easier mode of graduation, those candidates who do their graduation from like BSc BA, they don't get the opportunities like SSC Tech entries, TGC entries. So as I need to cover all these entries, BTech was a good option for me, sir.
All right. Okay, so you want to talk about foreign affairs. So please tell me our India's relationship with countries like China, Pakistan, Israel, Russia, and America after in the current government's leadership, that is under our Mr. Narendra Modi's leadership. What how has it evolved over this period of time?
Okay, sir. So starting with the Chinese, sir, China and India have China and India have a variety of relationship. It's a mix of both good and bad. Because talking about the good terms, the famous quote which says Hindu Chini Bhai Bhai. Earlier in 1947, the same era. I'm sorry, sir. So the same era when India got its independence, and in around the same time, Chinese also got their independence. India and China have have a good relationship because of trade. China sees a strong market in India. Also, India also have a strong market of its raw materials in China. Other than that, we being neighbors, uh, we need to maintain a good relationship with China. So these were the good points. But what comes the bad points that uh, we being neighbors itself is a bad point because in the South Asian region, China and India both are the competitors to become the next superpower of the world, and no country will want any other country to take on it. Also, China has always supported our arch rivals Pakistan. So not only this, the war with China in 65, where our soldiers were not even armed. So China and India have suffered a mixed relationship because we cannot even confront to China that they are our enemies. That will have a bad effect on us. Also, we cannot even call them as our friend. So I believe the relationship with China needs to be maintained in an order that we can tackle the strategic games of China. Like in Tanzania, they are building their naval port. Not only they are engaging our army in the area of Galwan, sorry, in the area of this LAC, actual control, and they are developing their string of pearls around the Indian Ocean. So we cannot let China capture the Indian Ocean, or I'm sorry, sir. We cannot let China capture the Indian Ocean or string of pearls. We cannot let that happen. So these are also there are factors which are affecting India and China's relation. Now, coming to Pakistan, so Pakistan and India, we know that Pakistan was an integral part of the earlier India. So Pakistan and India have always this issue about the Kashmir issue because of instrument of accession which was being signed in 1947, which Pakistan denies. So this is a chronic situation, chronic problem of Pakistan, which cannot be solved easily. But still, other than this problem, India Pakistan have also seen a time where our relations were good. Like there were trade going on between India. There were also friendly matches, but now India and Pakistan have completely cut off their bilateral relations. As you said, in the recently the current government have cut off every sort of relationship. There are not even cricket matches between India and Pakistan, no sort of bilateral relationship. But this is also one of the problems, because if you see Pakistan, which is being in the FATF grey list since years, so they need a revival. And since they need a revival, if we can provide them with some aid, they will not look for China. And this in this way we can counter some of our enemies, because as I said that if we can help Pakistan overcome the FATF grey list, then it can be overcome through the trade when we'll resume the trade between India and Pakistan. Pakistan has a market for India's raw material like rice and everything else. So helping Pakistan can in some way tackle China. India can tackle China in some way by helping Pakistan. But anyway or other, Pakistan is an enemy and will be our enemy for coming years, because the Kashmir issue cannot be solved in a year or so. Now, the relationship with Israel, you said. So, uh, from the history, if we date back to the earlier times, India never recognized Israel earlier, and India never supported Israel in its issue with Palestine. But later on, we have seen constant support from Israel in our issues, like in the Kashmir issue. They have openly voted for against Pakistan for Kashmir issue in our favor. Not only this, India have sorry, Israel have also supported us by. I'm sorry, sir. Israel have also supported Israel have also supported us by giving various sorts of equipments to tackle the terrorism. Also, in recent drone attack which we have seen, India has seeked help of Israel drones, that is Iran drones and all, to tackle its problem. So Israel and India have bonded much better since the 2014 government came into play. So, but as of now, the current Israeli government, that will be of Naftali Bennett, which is actually a actually extreme rightist government with having contributions from leftist party. So this is will be an interesting thing to see, that whether Naftali Bennett government would actually support India the way it used to, because in recently Pakistan's one of the highest ministers actually secretly one of the Pakistan's highest officials actually secretly visited Israel's Mossad chief. So now it would be an interesting thing to see if whether our relationship go well or not. But in some way or other, we need Israel to tackle the uh, technological handicap nature of our country. Now comes the relationship with Russia. Ever since our independence, in all our wars, whenever we were running short of something, whenever were at problems, Russia was the one to help us. When America have put on sanctions on us, Russia was the one to support with its equipments. S-400 defense system, MiG-21, MiG-29, all the fighter jets were supported by Russia. When India tested the nuclear, when India first did its nuclear test, Russia was the one to support us against standing against all of the world. So Russia has been one of the closest ally of India. But as you said, mentioning that from the 2014 government, we have taken our relation to Indo-Pacific from Indo-Russian. So we are looking more towards USA rather than Russia, and this have in some way tensed the relationship between India and Russia. Russia now finds an ally in China, which is our rival. So Russia and China are getting closer, and that is something which might cause us, which because of which we might lose a great friend like Russia. But anyways, have itself became Russia itself is suffering from huge economic loss because of American sanctions and CAATSA Act. Also, Russian defense system like Russian submarines or Russian equipments have been proved are not that much actually useful as of now. And whereas America, on the other hand, have supported us. Now, coming to the case of America. So, we all know that America has provided Pakistan with F-16. America has always denied, suppressed India in overcoming, in becoming a superpower of the world, Southeast region. But now we have seen since the time of Mr. Barack Obama visited India, since that time we have seen a strong relations between India and USA. India is the biggest market for US's defense equipment. And not only this, India and USA, we all know that the Quad is a great relation between India and USA. USA is now openly supporting India over Pakistan, over Pakistan issue. Right. USA itself claims that we are the friends, and in the government of Donald Trump's regiment, when India and US's relations were at peak, Mr. Donald Trump openly supported India in every issue, and even denied China for the claims of Arunachal Pradesh and the COK, that is Aksai Chin. So we have seen that USA are a new friend or a new ally to us, and we must continue our good relationship with the country. But also, we cannot forget that in geopolitics, no country is actually a true friend. So we must also play according to our needs, and we cannot trust anyone completely. Also, the five countries you mentioned about, although we have some sort of tense relations with these countries, but I would like to tell you that in the first quarter of this Indian financial system, India has reported the largest export till date, export economy till date, that is around $94 billion, and the major buyers of India are USA, China, and Russia, and I think that also Bangladesh. Bangladesh is also one of the major buyers. So if we will see connecting to our neighbors through because Bangladesh has become one of the top buyers because of the railway line. So connecting to our neighbors will be something which can help India to take its geopolitical relations to next level. Thank you.
Okay. Uh, are you aware of the Coco Island dispute?
Pardon me, sir. I was not able to hear you properly.
Are you aware of the Coco Island dispute?
Coco Island, sir.
Yeah.
Sorry, sir. I'm not aware about this.
Okay. Jawaharlal Nehru gifted Myanmar an island of ours, connected, which is a part of Andaman Nicobar Group. So, are you aware of that? This
Sorry, sir.
current
I'm not.
dispute. Okay, okay, no issues. Talking about some of the defense weapons, do you know what a stealth bomber is?
Yes, sir. I do know about a stealth bomber.
Okay, can you tell us something about it?
Sir, uh, they are something which cannot be actually traced down. And so, if we'll see how stealth bomber have evolution of the stealth bombers. So, mines are also a type of stealth bomber in some way or other, because this is something which we cannot identify, and they can cause huge damage to a person.
And why it cannot be detected by a radar?
Sir, I don't know why it cannot be detected, but still the name itself refers that it cannot be detected by radar.
Okay, since because I'm asking this because still like drone is a very small object. That is why it cannot be and it flies very low. So that is why due to the inclination of the earth, it cannot be detected by radars. But stealth bombers are a very giant ships like aircrafts. Still, it cannot be detected by radar. That is, I wanted to know the reason. Okay, no issues if you don't know about it. Uh, Let us talk about our relationship with Sri Lanka, like in this years under the leadership of Mr. Narendra Modi, what we have seen is Sri Lanka has moved more towards China. Same goes with Myanmar as well. what are the measures or what are the policies according to you India should adapt in order to gain back control over Sri Lanka and Myanmar?
Okay, sir.
Keep it
Starting
short
with
and
the
sweet.
Okay, sir. Sri Lanka has seen a friend in China. Is not actually a friend. Sri Lanka is indebted to China, and Sri Lanka is not even able to pay the interest of the debt they have taken from the China. So being
Can
in
you
a
tell
debt
us the
trap.
why Sri Lanka did take loans from China? Under what projects?
Okay,
The
sir.
major
Under
projects
the
you can.
under the Hambantota Port project, China had taken various loans from Sri Lanka had taken various loans from China, and now it is unable to repay the debt or even the interest of the debt. So, and due to this reason, they have succumbed to the debt traps of China. So, how India could help us? So, earlier in the when Donald Trump was president of USA, Mr. I'm sorry, Mr. Mark. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting the name. When BECA agreement was signed between India and USA, the person who visited India also visited Lanka, and there he made claims that we will support you and you should not take help from China. So India and USA could partner up to tackle the Chinese impact on Sri Lanka, because recently even Lanka have even approved Chinese people to build their own colonies in Sri Lankan Hambantota Port, near the area of Hambantota Port. So this will be a huge issue, as it also supports the Chinese theory of string of pearls or nine thus line. So, giving them financial aid would be a solution to this. Also, the case of Myanmar. So Myanmar recently have seen a military coup which have overturned the democratic government. So Myanmar sees a friend in China because Chinese have openly supported the Myanmar coup, or the Myanmar, whatever happened in Myanmar, the Chinese have openly supported it in United Nations. But India cannot actually do so, because we being a democratic country, we being a supporter of democracy, cannot support a coup. Also, we cannot actually oppose them. We are in a dilemma in United Nations. So due to this reason, they are seeing a friend in China. Also, the Karen nationals in Myanmar, which have revolted against the Myanmar army. So they are being killed, or they are also using, the Myanmar army is using genocides, and USA have openly stated this statement. And now India needs to play with its own interests, so we cannot support Myanmar in this issue. So, but China, uh, who is who does not fear any country now, have openly supported Myanmar, and so uh, the only solution to this will be regaining the democracy, being the replacing of democracy in Myanmar.
Okay, my last question to you is like India has purchased S-400 missiles from Russia, but China also purchased it, ordered it, but Russia gave S-300 missiles to it. What is the basic reason behind it?
Sir, I'm sorry, sir, but China also have got S-400 missile system.
Uh, you are factually incorrect. They have ordered it, but Russia didn't. They have got S-400, but the what is the range of S-400? Range
Sir,
of killing.
I don't remember the actual, sir, but I can tell that from Delhi you can directly attack Beijing. That will be a range, sir.
By number itself, it tells the range. 400 means 400 kilometer of range. 300
So,
means 300 kilometer of range. But still, Russia provided China with 300-kilometer range of missiles. So, can you tell the reason why it happened?
sorry, sir, I'm not aware about this deal, but I believe that Chinese might have purchased S-300 variant of the air defense system. So that's why they might have the Russia might have delivered it to them. I
Actually,
don't have.
there is a kind of restriction over China that it cannot purchase a missile range over 300 kilometers. So I wanted to know who made that restriction and why is that on China. So never mind. Thank you, Kamlesh. It was nice talking to you. You can leave now.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay. Saurabh.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
please come up and introduce yourself.
So I am audible and
Yeah, you're audible.
visible both.
Yes.
Okay. I am Saurabh Sahu. I hail from Bhilai in and I have completed my higher secondary from DAV Public School ACC Jamul. I am currently pursuing my BTech degree from Government Engineering College Raipur in Electronics and Telecommunication Department. And my hobbies are like reading books and etc. Listening to podcast, uh, and that's all, sir.
Okay, Saurabh, can you please tell me the difference, basic difference between meditation and yoga?
Okay. So meditation. Okay, so you can say that yoga is kind of exercise also, and you can do meditation. Like meditation is something like you can do it in a one position. Like you have to sit for it, or you have to do something. Like there are two types of meditation: active and passive one. So and yoga is kind of exercise. Through exercise you got to you got to control over your senses, and yoga is different, and you have to focus on something, or you have to be aware of what the things are going when you are doing particular type of thing. Like if I am sitting in this position, I have to be aware of all of my senses, like what my hand is doing, what my leg is doing, what my brain is thinking about. I have to be aware. This is so meditation is all about awareness, and yoga is like through exercise you need to you got to control your senses.
Okay. Is there a spiritual connection between a spiritual difference between yoga and meditation?
Okay. Spiritual difference, that depends. I can't comment on that, but I can say about something about spirituality. So spirituality is like believing on some higher powers. Like if I am a spiritual being, I am believing that all of us, or I am being controlled by some other higher powers. I am being controlled by some other person, or whatever, uh, who has higher power than me. So that is spirituality, uh, and believing in spirituality is good, I can say that. And I can't comment on difference between that spirituality.
Okay. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about coding. You like
Yes,
coding?
sir. Yeah, somewhat.
Okay. Which language do you believe? Do you are you most comfortable in?
Sir, Java. I have worked on it, and I am learning it now
Okay,
also.
Java. What, according to you, is the future coding language?
So it may be that depends, sir. Actually, it may be Java also, or like we have seen the high spike on high traction on Python itself. So Python is on high traction nowadays. So it may be any language, and that depends on the use of a person actually. So like we have many people are bored of Java. So the thing is you can learn Java X, which is kind similar to like what Python does in one line. Java X also can do in one line, but Java does that in four lines. So we need to Java is maybe if Java upgrades itself, then we can have it as a future language, or other or else other languages.
All right. So you want to become an entrepreneur?
Yes,
Is
sir.
that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. In which genre do you want to become an entrepreneur?
I haven't really planned actually, or like I can become a entrepreneur related to coding, or somewhat related to app development. And To be really very honest, sir, I haven't figured out which genre would be best for me. I am figuring it out, like trying different fields, knowing about different fields. All these things I am doing currently.
Okay. So entrepreneurship. Why do this is a basic question. Every entrepreneur, or not just entrepreneur, but other salaried people as well, want to know that why the big billionaires or the richest of the richest people like to call themselves entrepreneurs rather than a businessman? What is the reason behind it? Your mic is off.
So, sir, it may be catchy, or it would be it's better to call yourself a entrepreneur than businessman in now in scenario of today's world. But the thing with entrepreneurship is lack is that if I have a business or something, I am taking risk and then innovating different thing. Like if I have a business of a small shop, and then I am converting it by taking risk of money. And entrepreneurship is also about, like, if I am starting something and I am not aware of the profit it will make, but I am taking risk of starting it and then doing it, it is entrepreneurship. But business like business which are well established, they that would be not very good to call inter like they like businessmen who are very established, they can call themselves an entrepreneur if they have taken risk already. But if they haven't taken, they are calling it just to, like, it's better word than business, I could say, or businessman.
Okay. So whom do you believe is a better choice, calling yourself a businessman or an entrepreneur?
I always believe that aim to become an entrepreneur always, and it would be best, like businessman, sir. The basic meaning of businessman is like, if you are confined to something, like if I have a bunch of 5 shops in a city, I am confined to that 5 shops and I will work around that 5 shops only. But what entrepreneurship is, I will have a bunch of shops all over the India. I will have shops all over the in all cities of India. So that is entrepreneurship. I always carve to become an entrepreneur rather than a businessman for the same reason only. I believe in scaling.
Okay. Tell me the basic difference between an entrepreneur, an industrialist, and a businessman.
Okay. So entrepreneur is one who takes risk. Industrialist is takes risk is in own genre only, like in industries and somewhat related. And businessman who is confined to his, he don't take risk related to money and all that stuff. Business entrepreneur aims to be innovative. He tries to be unique. Industrialist work on his own genre, and he tries to be unique in his own area only, in related to industries. And then we come to businessmen. They work on well established business which have been established from many years ago, or which are well established now. Then a third difference may be like entrepreneur may start from zero on also. Like I can start from zero, but we can't start business from zero. We must have some or zero in the sense of money, like capital. So maybe I can start entrepreneurship from very less capital. Industries need very much capital, and then businesses need somewhat more capital than entrepreneurship, but less than industrialist.
All right. Okay. I'll tell you a situation now, a
Yes.
hypothetical situation. Here, it is a story. Suppose there is a company, there is a big steel company, let's say,
Okay.
and there are around 7,000 workers in that particular company.
Okay.
Now, on the basic, when there are workers, then we have higher authority, supervisors, then we have GMs and all that. There is a proper pyramid for an
Yes.
organization. So there is a worker known as Ghanshyam.
Hmm.
Okay, and he he is known in the whole company. Even
Okay.
general manager recognizes her
Okay.
because he is very productive to the company.
Okay.
So usually, even the supervisors don't know the names of all the workers because there are so many workers, right?
Yes, sir.
But even GM recognizes that man because his productivity level is very high. Okay, and he is saving a lot of money for company
Yes.
via his different techniques he's using as a worker in the factory. Okay, so one day what happened is he was arrested by police.
Oh.
and the
Okay.
case he was imprisoned for was that he was involved in a fight, in a street fight. Okay, now when the supervisor got to know about this, he uh, contacted Ghanshyam and asked his side of story.
Hmm.
So Ghanshyam told his supervisor that I didn't participate in the fight. I was just watching it. So I am caught in a wrong case.
Hmm.
He was trying to justify himself.
Hmm. Yes.
Now, what should the organization do? Should they, because it is a big organization, so they do have political connections, so they can easily get Ghanshyam out of it because it is not a very big case. It is not a very serious case, right? But on the other side, they could also do some disciplinary action. So it is up to you. It is up to you. You are made the HR, human resource department, human resource officer of that company, and it is up to you. What action would you take?
Okay. So first thing I will do is like I will know the Ghanshyam story, and then the thing is that the case will go on, and then we have court hearing. So what we as an organization will do is that we will support him financially in his hearing, in his all those costs, all those heavy costs of hearing and all those. We'll support him here in that, and if he is right he will win, if he is wrong he will lost. But the thing is that if he is right we will have Ghanshyam as our worker, and if he lost also we will have benefit. Like we will be like this company has some moral ethics and they work on that. Like we don't support wrongdoing. We can have workers of those who do wrong, but we don't support them. We can support them financially because he was a big asset to our company, or he is a big asset to our company. So as an organization we will support him financially on all those hearing and all that.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Saurabh.
Thank you,
It was
sir. Have
nice
a good
talking to
day.
you. Okay, now I'd like to invite uh, Vyapak for the interview.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Okay, please tell us something about you.
Right, sir. So I am Vyapak Tiwari. I completed my schooling from Devi Public School, ACC Jamul in Bhilai. I currently am pursuing my Bachelor of Technology in Electronics and Telecommunication branch from Government Engineering College, New Raipur. New Government Engineering College, Raipur, rather I should rephrase myself. And my hobbies are reading and writing.
Let me open your bio first. What kind of content do you write usually?
Sir, earlier I used to write articles for daily newspapers, and I had been writing poems as well. Uh, but lately I have been focusing on a blog where I write stuff.
Okay, so it seems here that you are more tilted towards blog writing or website development or entrepreneurship like things. But still, you want what is your aim? First, tell me what is your aim.
Sir, I want to be an IAS officer someday.
You want to become an IS officer, but you are more over tilted towards the technical field. You are pursuing engineering as a graduation degree. You are working on a website. You have your website as well. You are earning money through it. You are running a business, but still you want to become a bureaucrat. Both the things are very different. So don't you think you are a bit confused in it?
No, sir. Rather, I would say that I'm absolutely clear about my course of action for accomplishment of my target. Sir, I have a few officers in my family who have always insisted in securing financial stability first, because if you are financially stable, you are answerable to no one, and you can literally chase anything in life. So that is why, sir, the course of action that includes establishment of website or pursuing a technical course is all about seeking a backup, a financial backup. For, as we all know, that UPSC civil services examinations is called to be the second most difficult examination in the world, and there's no certainty. It is the most uncertain exam in the world. So that is why to keep a backup is a prudent choice, I think.
Okay. So, what is your reason for becoming a bureaucrat or an IAS officer?
Uh, Sir, I have seen uh, so I have seen a lot of bureaucrats in my life, to be honest. And sir, the work, the kind of work that so first of all, the kind of work suits my personality. That is why that is the foremost reason. And so it gives so they are civil services are very dynamic in nature. That is the primary goal. So I'll give you an example. Like if I become an engineer, right, and even if I step up the corporate ladder and if I become the CEO of the company as well. So I will be confined in my own space. But as an IAS officer, you have got a lot of lot of choice. Someday you will be made the director. As we all know that CBSE's chairperson is an IAS officer. Someday you can be CBSE's director. The other day you will be posted as finance secretary, where you will be heading all the banks in the country. Some other day you will be made not the foreign secretary but defense secretary, where you will be overlooking the defense deals of the country. So sir, you have got to choose from a lot. So the work is dynamic in nature, and you're not confined to a particular area of work. So that is why I want to go to civil services.
Whatever reason you said, all those reasons are very selfish because you are just thinking of yourself. You don't want to do something for the society or the nation.
So because that is what every aspirant says. I could be sitting here and I could be telling you, I want to do this for the society. I want to do that for the society. So the foremost thing I said was that I want to be an IAS officer because it suits my personality. So when I get into the services, I will try to bring the best into the services, contribute my best to the services and to the people of the country as a whole.
Okay. Suppose you become an IAS officer. Uh, Now you are now you have not just an IAS officer. You have completed a term of like 10 15 years. You have served in different services as an IAS officer. Now you are being promoted as a district magistrate of a district. All right. So now you are a district magistrate of, let's take an example of Ambikapur.
Right.
So an MLA on your first day, an MLA calls you and says that now you are congratulations for becoming an DM because you are being selected as a DM of that the particular district on his recommendation. So he indirectly, not directly, but he wants to let you know that you are here because of him. So you have to work accordingly. So that is why he wanted to mint. Now he wants you to do something. He's saying that he is in a way he's ordering you to do something which is out of the box, like not according to the law, but it is not even very wrong, like something which is related to corruption, but it is not directly harming the public sector. Understood. So since you if you deny him, you know what are the consequences, and if you accept it, you on a moral ethic background, you are compromising on yourself. So what is the uh, middle road you are going to take?
Okay, sir. So I will, suppose the MLA is on call, so I will make it crystal clear, कि sir, अगर if that is legal, I will do it on my first priority, and I thank you for recommending uh, my appointment. Although I know myself, if I get into services, I do not seek favor from anyone, sir. The first thing I'll make clear is that if that is legal, I will do it, and if it is illegal, I would not do it. I would not risk my job, uh, for this one thing. And sir, I know myself that if I am into service for 15 years, I would have made bigger contacts than being with the MLA. I would have made contact with the chief secretary already. So let's assume that even if there's this possibility, so I will definitely deny it. I'll give an example, sir. The current Home Secretary of India, Mr. Ajay Kumar Bhalla, he was I don't know what the political scenarios were, but he was never given the charge of a district magistrate back in his own cadre. I think it was Himachal Pradesh or Odisha. So he had some political rifts, and he was never made the district magistrate. And now he's the home secretary of the country, which is, next to the prime minister's office. His is the topmost office after the cabinet secretary. And you can see that there are ups and downs in the career. So he can remove me from the post of the district magistrate, but I know that if I'm efficient enough, I will find place for me. You can imagine that someone, that is why I gave you this example, that you can imagine that someone who was by the state government, he was not given the appointment of a district magistrate itself. He's been made the home secretary of the country. And
Okay.
all the orders during the lockdowns to the states, he used to order the chief secretaries of the state. His orders prevailed all over the country. So that is an example, sir.
All right. Recently, a report came out in which it was mentioned that uh, majority of the IS officers don't want to go into central services.
Okay.
They still want to be retained as a state bureaucrat. So, what according to you is the reason? And we have also seen that, for example, like in West Bengal, uh, uh, the center called the chief secretary, if I'm not wrong, chief secretary of the chief minister Mamata Banerjee. They called him back for pursuing his services as a central bureaucrat, but he simply denied. Even the chief minister didn't allow him to go. So there is a, let's say, a lag, a discrepancy going on for getting a central for becoming a central bureaucrat. What is the reason behind it?
So formally, I would like to tell that since we're discussing this topic, that it is entirely wrong to not go to the services. Services seeked by the center, because IAS and IFS, the foreign services, they are the all India services. They're not class A services. So naturally, you are directly an employee to the central government, and you are working under state government only on the directions of the central government, as long as the central government wants. So moving on, there might be many reasons that. So first of all, how in the bureaucracy, corruption is prevailed highly. So so the chances to indulge in corruption are more here in state, because you can imagine, when you are a secretary in any big ministry, the scope of corruption is naturally less, because you don't interact with public every day. You interact with limited number of people, and the work is kind of official, uh, and based on paperwork. uh, but if you see in a district or inside a state, the scope is more. Also, the second part is uh, that the number of facilities are a lot. I'd like to give you an example, that even the cabinet secretary, or rather I should say secretary to any big ministry, let's say finance secretary, he simply gets one car, one bodyguard, and an apartment in Delhi, because they don't have all the bungalows. But imagine that same IAS officer being in Rampur, he would have gotten a bungalow with around at least 10 bodyguards at his home, a swimming pool, and whatnot. So the number of facilities in Delhi and in state are you know are very big. The difference is very big, and we know that these facilities are one of the primary motivations of getting into the services as well.
But Gavak, don't you think this differences they existed for a very long time?
Yes,
But
sir.
recently it is happening that bureaucrats don't want to go into central services. They don't want to willingly go to into central services. So why that this shift has happened? That is why I want you to tell us.
Sir, I think that this question is political in nature, but I would not comment on politics. But sir, as far as my understanding goes, only these might be the reasons.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Vyapak. It was nice talking to you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Now I'd like to call the last participant of our session, Aditi.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Good evening,
Aditi, please
everyone.
introduce yourself. Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. Myself, Aditi Chandrakar. I hail from Raipur. I have completed my 12th standard from Dronacharya Public School, Raipur. I like to read books. I write poems, and also I sketch sometimes.
Okay. So, uh, tell uh, tell me something like how COVID lockdowns due to COVID has benefited nature.
Lockdowns have reduced the carbon dioxide, carbon dioxide evolution. Like there is less traffic, so there is less pollution, due to which the carbon dioxide that is produced have is less, and the ozone layer has the ozone layer depletion has been recovered, and and yes, sir. Like this only, like pollution and the ozone layer depletion are the main uh, the things.
Okay. There is a documentary on Netflix. Have you seen it? I'll name it. It was like uh, Sea Conspiracy. I'm not getting the
Sir,
exact word. You haven't
I
watched it.
don't watch Netflix.
All right, no issues. So, what according to you is the biggest reason for pollution?
Sir, according to me, people are taking nature for granted. Like they are using the things, they are using natural things off limits. That is the main reason. According to me, we humans and every living being is a guest over here in Earth, on Earth. So we are guests also have limits to use things, and we are overusing it, and that is the main reason because of this pollution.
Okay, let me be more precise. Which sector contributes to pollution the most?
Sir, industrial sector, I guess.
Industrial sector, all right, and other sectors?
Sir, like IT sector, in IT sector there are the radiations that can affect the living, and yes, and primary sector, I don't think so that they have um, any large effect on nature.
Okay, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
All right. Hmm. So, what I wanted to talk about is I'll explain you since you have not watched that particular documentary that consumption of animals like animal agriculture is the biggest contributor to pollution. So now you know which sector is the biggest contributor to the pollution. Even vehicles pollution, this emissions from vehicles, industrial pollution like coal industry, thermal industry, etc. All those their contribution to the pollution is very less. Rather, this agriculture, husbandry or the animal agriculture is the biggest contributor. So what according to you is the the major reason behind this? Because in previous years we still we used to eat non-veg, still we are eating non-veg, but now the contribution of agriculture industry, animal husbandry has uh, increased its contribution in pollution. So I want to know what is the reason behind it.
So the imbalance in the food chain, like when we were kids, we studied, we have read one story where the king of the jungle has, I guess, did something like he I'm forgetting that, but there was something like one of the uh, member of the food chain have been sent or have been yes, have been sent from the jungle, and because of which the population of other animals that, like for suppose if we take the case of snakes, if snakes are no more, then the increase there will be increase in mice and the other things. For suppose scavengers and all, they uh, if scavengers are not there, the dead animals will increase. There won't be the proper what, uh, like there won't be what. So just a minute.
Take your time.
Okay, the number of dead animals will increase, and there will be nobody, or there will be less number of animals that will eat them. So that will increase the pollution, and the imbalance in food chain can lead to increase in pollution. Yes, sir.
Okay, so why do you believe this imbalance uh, got in between? Because nature is designed in such a way that it balances itself. No species can survive more or less. Everyone has an equal share of survival. But in this current era, we are facing a problem of balance in between the nature. What is the sheer reason behind that cause?
So uh, humans are exploring and eating whatever they like for suppose bats, because of which this pandemic occurred. Like we think we consider it as one of the main reasons. So because of which this pandemic occurred. So I believe that uh, eating non-vegetarian food is okay, but up to some, uh, but up to a certain level, a certain limit. But after that, eating bats and all, that's not good.
Okay. I believe you are aware of the company SpaceX.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, SpaceX is nowadays focused on space tourism, right? Even Amazon is focusing on space tourism. Very soon, they are going to launch the multi-billionaires to the space as a space tour. Even Jeff Bezos, the owner of Amazon, is going to be in that journey or trip, right? So, but uh, when Elon Musk, the owner of SpaceX, was in an interview, was asked like, "You are promoting the space tourism, but Neil Armstrong strongly believes that strongly opposes this concept of space tourism. What do you believe would be the reason behind for of Neil Armstrong for opposing the space tourism, which is considered to be a very bright future?
Sir, looking at the current scenario, what we are doing, we live on Earth, but still we don't care about how, in what condition it is. Like we go at an extreme level, and then we think what we should do to save them. So I believe that this was the main reason because of which he thought like that. Because wherever we go, there are possibilities that we can create disaster if we don't think properly or act properly. So space tourism, okay, it's good because space is vast and full of explorations. But then also there are possibilities that we can ruin them.
So, you personally believe is space tourism a boom, or it is going to be a big bane?
Space tourism, I don't think that it's a good idea. Uh, like I am I am interested. I want to go to the moon and watch there from there to Earth. But somewhat there, I believe that space tourism is not a good idea.
It's not a good idea. All right. So, if it is not a good idea, suppose if, uh, since you yourself suggested that if you are given a chance to go on a trip for space to, through via space tourism, then you would love to go. So this same mentality or thinking is of majority of the people in the world. So we cannot actually hold it back. So what are the measures we can take as humans uh, to not to pollute even space, which is the major reason why some of the people are against space tourism. So what are the measures we can take in order to eradicate that possibility of destroying even space?
There is one movie, animated movie, Wall-E. I believe you have watched it.
Yes.
So, in that, what actually happens is they have destroyed Earth completely. It's full of garbage everywhere, pollution, and then they are living there over in space. And so, what actually we should do is we should first take care of Earth, which should be our which should be main motive right now. Then we can think of other space tours and all, and also taking care of everything. Like there was one line, I don't remember it, but in Wally, it said that uh, there was one scene where they dumped all the garbage in space. So that's not good. You first polluted where you lived, and then you are polluting the other places also in space. So, like I said first, we are guests over here. We can use it, but we cannot overuse it.
All right. Okay. Uh, Thanks, Aditi. It was nice talking to you. And
Thank you, sir.
now we have moved to the final section of our session. So if you guys want feedback, you can stay or you can leave. You are free to leave. And yeah. So let's start with Bhagilakshmi.
Yes, sir.
I have not much to say. You are already doing very well. So I haven't find any drawback. I have suggested you the things in last session as well. In last interview, the same things persist, but you are working on it. That is a good thing because I have seen some improvement. So that is a good thing. So well done. Right,
Thank you, sir.
Kamlesh, you're there. Yes, left. Okay. So Saurabh,
Yes, sir.
okay, you're also excelling in interviews as well. Every interview, you're getting better and better because that is what humans tendency should be. You have to improve with every session. You have to improve with every day, every minute. That should be your goal. That is a good thing. And also, you are participating very actively in the sessions, so that is a good thing. You will. There is no such reason which could lead you back. So that is a good thing. You are improving and improving. Okay,
Thank you, sir. It
that's
means
it.
a lot.
And Vyapak, same goes as Avagilakshmi. You are already very skilled, equipped with your communication skills, your whole command over vocabularies, English, everything. You're very fluent with the language. You as you are a UPSC aspirant, you yourself have the great knowledge. So everything is good for you. So no suggestions from my side. Now, last but not the least, Aditi. Aditi's problem still persists as the lack of uh, she tends to lose the things he she has in mind. So the tongue mind connection, there is a latency over there. So that is the only thing. Maybe she gets nervous, or sometimes your brain goes blank. So that is something which cannot be overcome by any sort of exercise or any one day routine. It is a long conversion. You have to give it time. So eventually it will eradicate. So you don't have to worry, and you don't have to get nervous every time. You don't have to ask me that, sir, I get nervous in every session. That is not the thing. I want you to listen from you in each and every session. Understood? थोड़ी
Yes,
देर
sir.
बैठने बोलो उसको. Wait करने बोलो थोड़ी देर. Okay. So that is
Yes,
my
sir.
suggestion for you. It was a very nice session. If you have any feedback for me or the session or the interview, you can give me. Otherwise, I'd like to end this session.
So I have one question only, not
Yeah.
feedback. Sir, the question you asked me about spiritual difference between meditation and yoga, what it is, sir? I'm eager to know.
Yoga. Yeah. Yoga, meditation is a part of yoga. Yoga is a very vast thing. Yoga is not just about exercise. It is actually not even about exercise. It is about more of like improving flexibility rather than exercise. So yoga is a combination of many things: improving exercise, improving flexibility, improving your mental strength, improving your physical and mind connectivity, turning on your chakras. Also, it is a vast variety of things, yoga. But meditation is just about your connection with yourself, or your connection with spirituality. Or if you believe in God, then it is a connection between God, you and God. Understood? So,
Yes.
meditation is a part of yoga. Yoga is a very vast culture we have. All right. Any other questions?
No, sir. Thank you.
Anyone else who wants to ask any question?
No, sir.
I think no, sir.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for joining today's session. It was a very nice session. I hope you guys liked it and learned something new. You self recognized yourself. Like, what are the things you are thinking? What are the things you are presenting? Is there a difference between your thinking and presentation? So all those things you might have considered within yourself. So thank you for joining today's session, and have a nice day.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
sir.
sir.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Sir, I would also like to
Yeah.
apologize for the delay today. Actually, my Wi-Fi was
Uh,
not working, and my mobile data would not allow me to even send the messages. So I was
it
waiting, sir.
happens. It happens.
Yes,
Try getting a new operator for the
sir.
SIM
I
card.
have BSNL Bharat Fiber, and that's the only operator